All right, well, hello everybody. I hope you can all hear me properly and see me here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who managed to tune into this product webinar to introduce Delta Q's RQ series of chargers. I'm Paul Drabble, Senior Marketing Manager at Delta Q Technologies, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this product webinar brought to you by Delta Q and our parent company, Zappi Group. I'll just do a quick overview of the webinar agenda and introduce our speakers. And timing-wise, our presentation will take approximately 35 minutes. And what time we have remaining, we can use towards questions. And lastly, we will record this session and provide a link to the recording, along with the slides in PDF form to all of the attendees in the coming week. Just looking at the agenda quickly, we're going to talk about the Delta Q's vision, some of our OEM customers and our battery partners. Then we'll get into the overview of the RQ series battery chargers. So the markets, the applications, product features, and the final summary, and then we move to question time. Speaking of questions, if you would like to post a question for the speakers to answer at the end of the webinar, you will see the GoToWebinar control panel, and there is a chat drop down, and then you just type your questions into that, and they will be anonymous questions, we will, at the end, we will answer those in the order of submission in the time that we have remaining. Okay, introducing our speakers from Delta Q, we have Jeff Everett, who is our Director of Product Management, and the RQ Series Product Manager, Sunil Adaluri. So with that, I will hand the control and the mic to Jeff, and let's get on with it.
All right, thanks, Paul. So Delta Q Technologies is part of the Zappi Group. Zappi is a global leader in electric motors, motor controllers, battery chargers, autonomous navigation, and auxiliary components for battery and hybrid-powered electric vehicles and machines. Here at Delta Q, our focus is on battery chargers and battery charging, and it's something that we've been doing for more than 20 years now. We believe strongly in an all-electric future. We're passionate and excited about working towards a sustainable future and extending electric drive systems, including batteries and chargers, from the traditional applications like golf cars and lift trucks, floor scrubbers, to new markets such as robotics, e-mobility, and construction equipment, and a host of other applications. We're constantly seeing and evaluating new applications and are excited about charging the future. Delta Q's mission is to partner and work with you to provide the right solution that enables your success. And to be a strong partner, we're always innovating across our product portfolio, our technology, and our business. It's more, for us, it's more than just providing robust charging solutions. It's about having the ability to scale with you to support your business demands, having high volume automotive grade global manufacturing. Just last year, we shipped over 600,000 chargers, and we have the scale in our 3 plants to support that. It's about having customer service and support. We're headquartered in Vancouver, Canada, but we have sales and support offices across North America, Europe, Asia, and a bunch of distribution partners in many countries. It's about on-time deliveries and providing logistical support for that, even in times of part shortages like we've been experiencing the last few years. It's about the quality and continuous improvement. Our aim is to be our customers' supplier of choice, the safe pair of hands working with you towards a common goal of an all-electric world. So next slide, Paul. This slide is just a sample of some of our high volume OEM customers that we partner with and service today. OEM customers represent a wide number of markets and a wide range of needs. So some are more automotive process driven than others. Some have very difficult use cases with high shock, high vibe environments, and some applications and customers just push their batteries extremely hard. We're proud to be working with some of the top OEMs in the world and are honored that they have put their trust in us. Next slide. Another thing that we do, which we believe is quite important in supporting our OEM customers, is closely working with and partnering with reputable battery suppliers and battery manufacturers. This slide just shows a few of our Charged by Delta Q battery partners. We know through lots of experience that using the wrong charger or the wrong charging profile to charge a battery bank can lead to poor outcomes, whether it's premature battery failures, unhappy operators, or even worse, safety issues. So Delta Q has made significant investments and put a lot of efforts in testing, and we will work closely with battery manufacturers to ensure charge quality is high and that your customers will get the most out of what is typically the largest cost component in the system, the battery. The goal here is to avoid situations where expectations haven't been met in the field and everybody starts finger pointing. So we want to work with battery partner, the manufacturer, work with you to make sure that we're putting together a reliable system that prevents this from happening. So with that, I'll turn it over to Sunil to talk about our Q series.
Thank you, Jeff. Hello, everyone. Today, I'll be providing you an overview of the RQ series product line. So this product line was launched recently by Delta Q, and these chargers are compact, rugged, and highly efficient automotive grade chargers. So they have key features tailored to market requirements today. Some of them include 12-volt auxiliary output, UDS support. UDS stands for Unified Diagnostic Services, and CAN support. So we offer two chargers in the RQ product line, the RQ350 and the RQ700. So the 350 and 700 just denote the power level of the charger. So an RQ350 is 350 watts and a 700 is a 700 watt charger. And basically these were designed for light electric vehicles, outdoor power equipment, pallet trucks, and other industrial vehicles. In the next slide, I will cover more on the applications. Next slide, please. So here you can see the different range of markets that these products cater to. So we have outdoor power equipment, golf utility, e-mobility, construction, MEWP, that stands for mobile elevated work platforms. Then we have material handling, floor care, and also robotics. As you can see, these different markets, the equipments used there are under very harsh conditions. So it's very essential that our chargers that we make are very reliable and they can have a long life while operating in the field. Next slide, Paul. So because of that, our engineering team does a series of tests in order to make our product very reliable and to have world-class quality. So we have different legs of testing called leg 1, leg 2, and leg 3. In leg 1, we do a mechanical shock and vibration test, and we follow the General Motors standard. It's the GMW 3172 standard, where the charger is subjected to shock and vibration. It is just like as if we are simulating a vehicle which is riding on a bumpy road and the charger is attached to the vehicle. So we want to see how the performance is in real life. Then the second leg of testing, we have high temperature and humidity testing, where the charger is subjected to extreme temperatures, both on the hot and cold side, and also different conditions of humidity to see how reliable the charger is. And there's a third test called the salt fog test. So it's basically a mist or a fog which has salt in it, and it is exposed, the charger is exposed to this mist. So this basically tests how the charger is works against foreign particle ingress, whether it's dust or moisture. And the last one, HALT, it stands for highly accelerated life test. So basically, this is a testing methodology which we use to identify the failure modes or weak links in our charger, whether it's on the design side or on the manufacturing side. And once we are able to identify these failure modes early on, we can have them addressed and increase the reliability of the product. Next slide. So yeah, reliability is in our DNA. That's what Delta Q stands for. We promise to our customers that our products are highly reliable, and we commit to that promise. So you can see these chargers, both the 350 and 700, they are very compact, have high power density. They are sealed and rugged, and they are suitable for both the lead acid and lithium-ion batteries. The RQ350 is IP66 rated, whereas the RQ700 is IP67 rated. Both are convection cooled, and as I mentioned before, they are tested to automotive shock and vibration. So we ensure that our chargers are very reliable in the field, and seeing our testimonies from our customers and our warranty return rates, we have very low failure rates in the field compared to other chargers in the market. So that proves our reliability. Next slide, please. So the user interface on the RQ chargers is very simple. We've made it simple so that it's easy for the end user or the operator to understand. So we have 3 LED lights on our charger. There's a blue light, green light, and a red light. The blue light is for the AC input. The red light is for an error or a fault. And the green light shows the charging status. Now, the AC input light is very crucial because we've had complaints and failure modes saying that the charger is not working. But when we checked the root cause, it was seen that the AC power was not plugged in. So here, having an indicator upfront showing that the charger is plugged onto an AC source, it helps eliminate this issue. And we know that the AC source is plugged in properly, and we are able to get the current. For the charging status, we have 3 states of charge which we show on our charger. One is 0 to 80%, which is also known as a low state of charge. So in this state is indicated by a slow flashing or a slow blinking green light on the charger. Then from 80 to 100%, we call it a high state of charge, and it is indicated by a fast flashing green or fast blinking green. And when it is fully charged, or when it reaches 100%, the LED light turns solid green, saying that the charging is now complete. And if there's any problem or error in the system or in the charger, we have the red light which flashes. And this is also coded, like we have different number of flashes for different error codes, and these are all available in our user manuals, which is easy to refer. And over the LED buttons, we have a push button, membrane button, which indicates the charge algorithm, and you can also use that to change the charge algorithm on the battery charger. Next slide, please. So charge profile library. So as of today, we have more than 250 charge profiles or charge algorithms from Delta Q in partnership with all these companies. So the charge algorithm is very important because we need to select the right algorithm for a particular battery pack. So a lead acid battery is has a different charge algorithm than a lithium-ion battery, and even among those, like a lead acid, a flooded lead acid will have a different algo than a AGM or a gel battery, and a lithium-ion with lithium iron phosphate chemistry will have a different charging algorithm compared to an NMC chemistry. So based on the battery size and based on the battery capacity, the team at Delta Q evaluates all the specifications, and we recommend the best charging algorithm for that particular battery pack in order to optimize the battery life and maintain ideal battery health. In case we use a wrong charge algorithm to a battery pack, it negatively impacts the battery life, and it also can damage the battery. For example, a lead acid battery has to be charged more when compared to a lithium-ion battery. And even under lead acid, a flooded lead acid has to be charged more compared to a sealed lead acid. So if we use an algorithm which is designed for a flooded lead acid on a lithium-ion battery, we would overcharge the battery and damage that. Vice versa, if we use a lithium algorithm for a flooded lead acid battery, we would undercharge the battery and affect the battery life. So it is very essential that we choose the right charge algorithm based on the battery pack, the capacity, and the chemistry. Next slide. So our chargers also have CAN bus support. So CAN Open and SAE J1939 are two protocols that we use. SAE stands for Society of Automotive Engineers, and J1939 is a standard given by them. So using these two protocols, we can you can get the charge cycle data. We can do software updates over the charger. We can set up new charging profiles. And also for lithium-ion batteries, we can give the control to the battery management systems to interface the charger. So J1939 is a standard protocol, but if customer has some custom requests to modify the signals or messages, we can work with the customer and program accordingly. Next slide, please. Yeah, Delta Q has a very good relationship with its customers, and we want to be the supplier of choice for our OEM customers. So based on that, like if there are certain OEMs who have high volume requirements and they require certain modifications or customization on the chargers, we are more than happy to help our customers achieve that. So that could include engineering development, whether it's hardware or software development. We can have special regulatory certifications or approvals which our customer needs. We can do custom branding and co-branding along with custom labeling, and also we help in bulk packaging if that is a requirement. So just to note, these are just for very high volumes and not for medium or low volumes. But for high volumes, our company is very flexible and we are able to cater to our customer requirements as needed. Next slide, please. So the RQ350 and RQ700 come in standard offerings. So we have a base model which comprises the bare minimum features required for the charger. And then we have a COM model which has additional features. So if you see in the base model, the diagram here shows the charge profile button and the LED status indicator, which I've explained just a few minutes ago. And we have a DC terminal which connects to the battery positive and battery negative. There's an interlock and a temperature sensor. The AC cable is a locking IEC320 connector, and for the DC we have a 2-meter cable which connects to the battery positive and negative with ring terminals, temperature sensor, and interlock signal. So same goes for the RQ700 base. On the COM models, apart from these features, we have the signal connector in addition to the DC terminal, and that supports CAN bus, interlock, 12-volt auxiliary output, and remote LED support. So just on the signal connector, there's a difference between the two chargers. The RQ350 uses an Amphenol 8-pin connector, whereas the RQ700 uses a 12-pin connector. But the feature set provided by both these signal connectors are the same. Next slide, please. Now we come to the OEM offering of both the chargers. So we have a COM-D and an MPP model. MPP stands for multi-purpose pin. So in the COM-D model, you can see that we just have one DC terminal similar to the base model, but it has up to 6 signal wires, and it is up to the customer how they want to configure these wires. Usually most customers use 2 of them to configure for CAN high and CAN low, but it depends entirely on the use case and what the customer needs are. Our team is happy to help configure the way the customer wants. The MPP model it has the 4-in-1 MPP feature. So it has the interlock, the temperature sensor, there's a safe disconnection, and the LED. And below, if you see at the bottom of the slide, you can see there's a paddle and receptacle image. This is just for representation purpose, but it helps understand that it has this paddle and receptacle, and this can be customized based on the customer needs. So that is the advantage of the MPP model. Next slide, please. Here is a quick summary of all the models I've just described, along with the features they have. So if you see the base model, it has the status indicators, the button to change algorithms, the power interlock relay, the battery temperature wire sensor. And the COM model has additional features like the signal interlock relay, communication, remote status indicator, and 12-volt aux output. The COM-D model has the basic features. The other features are optional and it can be customized. The MPP model also has the basic features along with the signal for interlock for an MPP. There's a temperature sensor, and also we have a receptacle LED signal on the MPP model. Next slide, please. This is a snapshot of the high-level features of the RQ series. So as I've mentioned, we have the 12-volt auxiliary power. So this is in the RQ700, we have a current of 400 milliamps. On the RQ350, we have a current of 100 milliamps. So this 12-volt aux power is used for small loads such as a BMS wake up. For example, if the battery management system of a lithium-ion battery goes into sleep mode, this 12-volt auxiliary power can be used to wake it up. And also it can be used to power some telematic applications in some equipment. Then, as I mentioned, we have CAN communication and control, the CAN open and J1939 protocols. Our chargers are EMC compliant, so we are compliant to Class A and Class B, both for industrial and residential power circuits, and the UNEC R10 for onboard vehicles. We have a low voltage touch safe feature. It complies to the European Union touch safe voltage of less than 60 volts. Our chargers have global safety compliance approvals. Like we have UL in North America, we have CE for Europe, KC for Korea, PSC for Japan, RCM for Australia and New Zealand. And we have a very simple user interface. We have a locking AC connector, so it prevents any accidental disconnection. And we also have AC over voltage protection. So if the charger is improperly connected, we have this over voltage protection up to 420 volts of AC. The high current interlock is a feature which we plan to introduce in the future. Basically, it it protects the circuit against shock and vibration, and that's a debound circuit which is used there. So in a nutshell, these are the high-level features of the RQ series of chargers. Next slide, please. Going to the electrical specifications, here we've listed out the maximum power, the nominal voltage and max voltage and max current for both the chargers. So the RQ350 comes in 4 voltage models, 12, 24, 36 and 48 volts. However, at 12 volts, we get only 220 watts of power, whereas at 24, 36 and 48 volts, we get the full power of 350 watts. And the current ranges from max current ranges from 15 amperes for a 12-volt charger to 7.5 amperes to a 48-volt charger. The RQ700 comes in 3 voltage models, 24, 36 and 48 volts, and the current ranges from 30 amperes for a 24-volt charger to a 15 amperes for a 48-volt charger. Next slide, please. Coming to the mechanical specifications, the dimensions are mentioned here. So basically, the chargers are very compact, and for the power they deliver, and that's why they have high power density. The AC input connector, as I've explained, it's the IEC 320 AC connector. The DC output connector is a standard ring terminals, which is also OEM customizable. The signal connector is the Amphenol 8-pin for the RQ350 and the Amphenol 12-pin for the RQ700. The RQ350 is IP66 rated, whereas the RQ700 is IP67. Both are convection cooled, both are adhering to the General Motors standard for shock and vibration, the GMW 3172, and their operating temperature is from -40 to +65 degrees Celsius. Next slide, please. So the unique selling propositions of the RQ series is that we have this 12-volt auxiliary output, which is very beneficial to our customers. The microprocessor on these chargers supports UDS, Unified Diagnostic Services, and the RQ chargers, the product package comes with the necessary cabling along with the battery charger. So the customer need not worry about procuring cables for the charger by themselves. The benefits of these chargers, as it's mentioned here, these are very highly efficient, high performance battery charging. They provide high performance battery charging and machine uptime. And as I've explained, the 12-volt auxiliary output helps in BMS wake up and telematics, and it provides good compatibility with lithium-ion batteries. And UDS offers the ability to use standard service and upgrade diagnostic tools. So in other words, if there's any problem with the charger, using the UDS, we can quickly identify and troubleshoot the issues. Next slide, please. So how our product is different from other chargers in the market? Well, I've already mentioned these features, and these give us a competitive advantage. The 12-volt auxiliary output, the IP67 design, the tested for shock, automotive shock and vibration makes it highly reliable. The support for CAN bus communication and UDS, and we are also EMC compliant, and we have global regulatory approvals. Next slide, please. So yeah, here is a final summary of the RQ series. So our chargers, as I've mentioned, we are highly reliable. We produce automotive grade battery chargers which can function in harsh environments and across different market segments. And also we have a very good life in the field. Our failure rates are very low. We are compliant to the global safety and efficiency standards. We also have EMC compliance. We support CAN communication and protocol. And yeah, another important point is our chargers are operational on any single phase throughout the world, like in North America, Europe, and Asia, and ranges from 85 volts AC to 270 volts AC. So our chargers are universal. They can be used anywhere, and that is a great benefit. Next slide, please. So that concludes the summary of the RQ series. If anyone is interested in requesting a sample from DeltaQ, you can please go to this link, https://connect.deltaq.com/sample. There is a form, a simple form, which you can fill out to give your requirements. And once you submit the form, our team at DeltaQ will reach out to you and we will help you with the necessary samples that you need. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this concludes the webinar on the RQ series product line. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask now, and we will be happy to answer.
All right.
Over to you,
Thanks.
Paul.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sunil. Great presentation there. I hope everyone is finding all that useful information. And we do have some questions. So I'm going to just kick off and go from the very top down, the order that they were received. So the first question is, can you elaborate on the specific automotive shock and vibration tests the RQ series has undergone to ensure its ruggedness and durability?
Sure. So as I've mentioned, we follow the GM 3172 standard. That's a very high quality standard which the General Motors has proposed for automotive shock and vibration. So basically, we try to simulate this. Our chargers are put to random vibration and shocks, and we try to simulate the events in the real life inside the lab to have that testing done. So this is part of our leg one testing, and randomly the charger is made to vibrate. Sometimes it's slow, small vibrations, sometimes it's huge, and it's moved all over the place. So it's like an example. You can imagine that you're driving a vehicle on a bumpy road full of potholes, and how there's a lot of shock and vibration. So that is a similar testing methodology that we follow. And since we adhere to those requirements, our engineering team spends considerable time in this testing to see that the electronics are not damaged and are intact, and the whole charger as a whole provides the performance as needed.
Yeah, if I could add to that, it'd give you some levels in terms of shock and vibe. The infrequent shock, we test 100 G, 11 millisecond half sine pulse, 3 cycles on 3 axis. And that sort of simulates a major impact, a major crash in automotive world. Repetitive shock, we subject to 2400 cycles at 25 G to simulate going down the pothole road, as Sunil has been talking about, and vibration, 4.55 G random access, random vibe test for 8 hours in each of the 3 axes. So those have been derived in consultation with one of the guys actually who helped. He was a GM employee. He helped develop the GM 3172 standard, and based on our applications that we see, these are what we feel are sort of the worst case user levels. So far, from the reliability testing that we've done, we've like the field experience coming out of it has been very, very good with all our products. We were just looking at it the other day, and we're finding really low return rates, and shock and vibe is not an issue. That the construction of the chargers in the RQ series included, it's a hand in glove design. So all the power electronics are supported on one side by the circuit boards, and then the casting itself mechanically supports all the components on the other side. So in terms of a shock and vibe construction, it's very robust. And our return rates are, over the last few years, looking back, have been less than a fraction of a percent. So we're very proud and very happy with our field experience.
Okay. All right. Next question. What are the key features that differentiate the RQ series from other low power battery chargers currently available in the market?
Yeah, so basically, as I've also mentioned before, our chargers are very compact. So that's a big advantage, because you have more power for lesser volume, and that's high power density. And in applications where size is an important factor, our chargers are able to fit there. So in addition, we support CAN communication, which is very helpful. We have the features like 12-volt aux and remote LED, which is not there in other chargers in the market. So I think these are the differentiating factors. Also the IP67 rating, IP66 rating, along with the shock and vibe test that we do. So these differentiate our chargers from other chargers in the market and show that we are a highly reliable product.
Okay, next question. Can you provide examples of applications or industries where the RQ series have proven particularly beneficial or successful?
Yes, so as we have seen in one of the slides, I've showed the different market applications. So RQ series are being successful in floor care, they have been successful in material handling, and now the RQ700 is also used in outdoor power equipment and has been successful there. along with that, we are exploring opportunities into new markets like robotics and other fields as well. So yeah, we've had some good feedback from customers on our chargers, and basically they were able to have a long life and survive the harsh environments. So yeah, I think we can say that yeah, we've had some good feedback.
Okay. Do the devices have UNECE R10 certificates?
So the certification for R10 is still in process. We expect to have that completed soon, but yes, our chargers will be R10 compliant very shortly.
Okay. The next question, and I think it was just answered by Jeff, is there more detailed information about the failure rate? Jeff did mention it was a fraction of a percent. Jeff, did you want to say anything more on that?
No, I think that covers it. We've had the RQ350 out in the field for a couple of years now, and the return, the failure rates on those are really good, showing up really well. RQ700, we're just in the process. We just launched it this past summer, and just in the process. It is in production. It is being used in the field, but it's early days. So we're keeping an eye on it very closely. But there's no reason not to expect similar failure rates as we do with IC series or our other product lines. So. Which are, as I said, are a fraction of a percent.
Okay. Are you also planning a version without an integrated cable for battery output and signals, but with a connector directly on the device, such as the IC series? For the use of different vehicles, this would be more flexible for the customer. Can you speak to that?
I'll speak to it. Yeah, it's tough to please everybody. So we have a number of customers. We have the IC series, so we do have the IC650, which is a very similar power level to the RQ700. And with that product line, it is connectorized, and the cables have to be attached to it. It provides flexibility in that, but at the same time, we have a number of our OEM customers who are asking, hey, we would rather have the charger with the cable attached and not have that flexibility. So it's a different design approach. I think if you're looking for that flexibility and being able to add your signal connector or signal cable and battery cable, then I would suggest looking at the IC series over the RQ series. If you prefer to have the cables integrated, then the RQ series is the solution.
Okay, next question. Can we obtain circuit boards for our chargers?
Yeah, no, the charger itself, it's to do with how it goes together and the construction. Essentially, when the circuit boards get mounted in the chassis, they get thermal adhesive and compounds. They essentially get potted into the chassis, and then the lid gets glued on and screwed. And so to extract the assembly, it's a difficult process, and essentially you end up destroying the charger to get inside of the charger. So there really is no point in providing circuit boards because it's not serviceable in that way.
Okay, the next question actually asks about pricing, and that's something that we can't really discuss on this product webinar. So the person who's interested in terms of understanding what the price point is, I would suggest that you just get in touch with us. You can get in touch with Sunil. His contact information is on the final slide, and then he can perhaps connect you with the right resource on our business development team. So unfortunately, we can't provide any pricing on this call. So the next question is, how can we tell if our charge profile is correct?
So basically, our team looks at the application and the type of battery used, we suggest a suitable charge profile for that particular battery pack. So it depends on the capacity of the battery chemistry, and we have algorithms, like as I mentioned, over 250 plus algorithms already in with us, and based on a particular application, battery pack, and specifications, we can recommend the best algo for that particular battery pack. So our team can we have an application engineering team that helps, and it can support you in choosing the right algorithm and like maintaining your ideal battery life.
Yeah, to add on that, if it's a question of how do you tell what algorithm is loaded onto the charger, what's the default profile, there's a number of ways to tell. One is with the membrane on the button on the front. Pressing that will have the display blink out the algorithm number code. The other way is we have tools to access through PC, connect up to the charger, and you could on the PC see what charging profiles are loaded onto the charger and which one is the default algo.
Okay, next question. What are the specs of the remote LED output of the RQ350, and do you have such remote LEDs as an accessory?
Yeah, a remote LED, basically the benefit is when the charger is installed on some machines or equipment and the display is not visible because of the way it's placed inside the machine, we can have a remote LED showing the indicating the charge status. So it's basically you can have the LED light at a place which is convenient to the customer, and it has the same display as it's on top of the charger. You have a low state of charge, high state of charge, and fully charged with the green light, and then we have an error or fault with the red light. So that's the purpose and main benefit of the remote LED. So yeah, it does come as an accessory, and if anyone is interested, we can like provide them with a remote LED accessory.
Yeah, the specs, we do have the specs. I don't have it offhand, but working with our application engineering team, we do have the specs detailed in our design guides, and it's the same, whether it's the same circuit as all our products. With the IC series is the same, RQ series is the same. So if you're interested, we can share those through our application engineering team to work with you. They're either common off-the-shelf parts, or as Sunil said, we do have remote LEDs as an accessory.
Okay, next question. You mentioned the option to select or change charge algorithms during manufacturing or in the field. How easy is it for customers to customize the charging process to suit their specific requirements?
The charge algorithms themselves, to switch from one to another, it's fairly easy, but it's purposeful. So what I mean by that is you have to follow a sequence of steps in order to do it. So when you plug in the charger, at the same time you have to be holding the charge algorithm button, or the button. So that's something you wouldn't accidentally do. You have to do it intentionally, and then that would give you the access to change the algorithm through the button, or the other way, as I said, is through using a computer and a adapter or a dongle connected to the charger to change the algorithm that way. In terms of modifying the algorithms, it's our philosophy is we don't give that control down. You can't change voltage set points in the algorithms on the fly in the field. And that's because we do a lot of work validating each algorithm with a specific battery manufacturer and type of battery. And we have a lot of algorithms available for covering what's out there in the field. And because they're fine-tuned and deliver a very accurate charge, we feel like we've done all the work, and you don't need to adjust voltage set points. The algorithm should work as it is intended.
Okay. The next question requests the minimum order quantity for the RQ350 or the 700 to directly order from Delta Q. Now, that not everybody wants to deal direct with a channel partner or distributor. So, like pricing, that's a question that I think we can't really answer here, because it does depend on a few things. So, I would suggest for those interested that you do just maybe reach out to us through Sunil, and again, we'll have his contact details on the next slide when we wrap this up, but we can't answer that one right here and now. So going to the next question, do you manufacture and assemble systems in VC, or is that a distribution center? How would one get engaged with someone from QC or engineering to review applications?
I'm not sure the question with respect to VC.
Yeah, I'm just reading it as I see it. So maybe that could have been a typo in the question. So,
yeah.
But
I mean, high level. We manufacture our chargers currently in one of three locations, either in China, in Shenzhen, or Guadalajara in Mexico, or in India. We're just in the process of starting a manufacturing plant in India. We work with contract manufacturers that we've been working with for a number of years now, and we have staff embedded on the line with those contract manufacturers. So quality people, production engineering people, and purchasing and supply chain logistics people on site at each of the manufacturing locations. So in terms of quality online and control, we feel we have very good control over the manufacturing process. In terms of engaging, how do you engage with either our quality control team or our engineering team to look at applications or any issues? Just reach out through your account manager. Reach out, and they'll link you up with the appropriate people. Either way. Our go-to-market team, our account manager, his best buddy, and the person supporting our account manager with each of the accounts is one of our application engineers. So we have an engineer riding tandem with the account manager. So any application questions that come up, that team can usually address them on the fly as they come up. If not, then there's a deeper team of engineers designing the products here that can help.
Okay.
Yeah, little clarification on VC. It was Vancouver, BC.
Oh,
we don't manufacture here in Vancouver. Our engineering team is here, but all our manufacturing, as I said, is done in one of those three locations: Mexico, China, or India.
okay. Next question. What are the upper temperature limits in degrees Celsius to charge with full power without derating?
Vanilla, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so basically, as I've mentioned in my presentation as well, our chargers operate from minus 45 to minus 40 to plus 65 degrees Celsius. That is the ideal operating temperature. And we can get full power under these conditions. So it's basically the higher the current, it also increases the heat on the charger. So that is one thing that we have to keep in mind. And it's recommended that we keep within these temperature limits to charge with the full power. But if for derating,
yeah, sorry to clarify. Derating we target full power up to 40 degrees Celsius. It can operate at higher ambient temperatures, but derating, we tend to start derating around 40 degrees.
Okay. What kind of support and documentation is available to assist customers in integrating the RQ series into their applications and systems?
So we, along with our chargers, we provide user manuals and specification sheets, which explains how the chargers should be used, what are the safety requirements, and any other warnings that's as it comes with any other product before operating. So I think those are instructions are pretty clear, and that helps them to integrate the chargers into their applications and systems. Over and above that, if still the customer has any issues, our application engineering team is there to support and assist in the installation or integration of the chargers as needed in the field. So yeah, we have a very good customer support and support team here to help the customers.
Okay. Is it possible to change an algorithm in the base version?
Yeah, it is. The base model, you can either change the algorithm using the button on the front of the charger, or using a programming dongle connected to a computer, and it connects through the DC terminals. There's little communication over the DC terminals, so you can program it while you're not connected to a battery.
Okay, next question. How does IP68, 66 and 67 rating of the RQ series compare to other similar products in the market, and what advantages does it offer to customers?
Yeah, so the IP66 and IP67, basically they provide the charger protection from dust and water ingress. So there are different levels of protection. The 66 usually refers to like the charger when it's exposed to a water jet, a slow water jet, the functionality is not affected. And 67 is when the charger is submerged inside water. Still this charger is able to function without any ingress. If you see the sealed, how the charger is sealed on the top, the design, we make sure that there is no room for any foreign particles to enter. So that's how we test and validate our chargers to these requirements. And there are very few chargers or in the market which have an IP65 or 67 rating. There are usually chargers which have a lower IP rating, so that gives us a competitive advantage and makes our chargers more reliable.
Okay, we have another question. This is our 18th question, so this is great. Is it possible to upload new algorithms to the base version?
Yeah, it is possible. As Jeff mentioned before, we can change the algorithms on the base version. So we can upload new algorithms as well with the programming kit. So yeah, we can do that.
All right, well, terrific. I think that's it. We don't appear to have any more questions, and we're right at the end of the hour. So just going to wrap things up here. This concludes the product webinar for today. So on behalf of Delta Q and our parent company, Zappy Group, we'd like to thank you for tuning into this webinar, and we hope you found it useful and informative. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact Sunil. He is the product manager of the RQ series. So thanks once again, and we wish you all a pleasant day or evening. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.